So Mo, the doctor is in.
Good afternoon, Ricky. The doctor is in. And boy, are we in with like a special show today. Oh my goodness.
We
I'm
really
so
are.
excited. It's Breast Cancer Action Month. We have changed it from awareness to action. It's Touchtober, as we
It's
like to
touched
call it.
over.
Absolutely. And we're here today with I'm gonna call her my friend. She's my little sister. She is
Yes.
our sister in this struggle against breast cancer. It is
Yeah.
Jazmine Sullivan.
Hi,
Jazmine Sullivan.
ladies.
Jasmine
Hello,
Sullivan.
ladies.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. It's such
We
a
are
blessing to have you with us
yeah, we are
today.
so blessed. We are so blessed to have you with us today.
Thank
So
you.
thank you for
I always like talking to you guys because I always feel like I learn something when I speak to you. So I'm honored to be able to be here as well.
Well, we always learn something from you too, and that's the beauty of this show is that we invite guests to come on and share their experiences and their wisdom. And what people walk away with is that they walk away realizing that they're not alone and that no
Hmm.
yeah.
one fights alone. So
Yes.
we want you to tell us a little bit of your story and tell us why you're
Yeah.
doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a couple years ago, my mom was diagnosed with IBC, breast cancer. And it just totally rocked our world. We were not prepared for it, as no one is. Um, but if I think about it, we did have a history of breast cancer in our families. So
Mm,
if we had those conversations more often within our family, we would have maybe been a little more prepared than we were. But I think that's the issue with a lot of Black families is that we don't talk about health.
right.
Even
We
even
don't.
when it's happening, we don't have those conversations. And so because of that, when it did happen to us, we didn't know what to do. But we knew we had to get through this together. And so, me and my father and all of my family, really, we just focused on my mom and just wanted to support her and uplift her and let her know that she wasn't in this alone and that we were going to fight as hard as we could to help her through this. And she's in remission now, thank God,
Thank you,
prayerfully.
God.
Hmm.
So now, um, what I'm trying to do now is just help other people who are going through the same thing and expand the things that I've learned and try to help other people. And so that's what I'm doing with more than just words and Novartis. And I'm so honored to be able to do that because um it just gives me life to be able to do that for other people. So
Well,
Wow.
thank you for that. It's really a blessing. And once you've sort of gone through the disease, you do want to help others. You do want to fight like a girl for other people because we don't want other women to suffer. And you're so right about not talking about it,
hmm
and we just, our Black families, I don't know what it is about us, we just don't talk about health. And it's so important. And it's so important for someone like you to help young women understand, Jasmine. So we're so thankful for that because young women need to know about this. We don't have enough talk about it with mothers and daughters. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And so to be able to support your mom and reach out to young Black women to help them be aware of breast health is just so critical. So we so appreciate that.
Thank you, thank you. I'm trying. Yeah, I've had conversations with my group of girlfriends that I didn't have before this experience,
Mm,
about just going to get our mammograms and making sure that we're up on it. So the cause really has helped me and to be able to help even the closest people to me. So that's all we're trying to do. We want Black women to survive and be on this earth as long as possible and just to educate. And education obviously starts with yourself first, and then you pass along what you know, what you think you know. And like you said, it's about not feeling like you're alone, so that community helps.
And
yeah, I
you know
think
what I realize is that it's the conversations our families are afraid of having are because nobody ever taught them, right?
right,
And so we have to do
right.
a better job. I mean, if nobody ever taught you what a breast exam was supposed to look like, feel like, how are you going to pass it on to your daughter? How are you going to
Exactly.
tell your loved ones? And so I think the medical community really has to step up too, because we just kind of get in the room and talk, and everybody's like, uh-huh, okay. And then the doctor walks out, and then they look at each other and say, what did the doctor say?
Right.
Right,
And
right. Which is
mhm,
why what you're doing on the website is so important about like helping patients know exactly what to say to
What to
doctors and
ask.
have those type of conversations. So thank you for that because um I would be one of those women who wouldn't know exactly what to say because health was never really a priority in my household, wasn't a priority in school growing up. So like having a guide to see like the exact things that you should ask or say is very helpful. So thank you for that. And also I just seen just I'm 34 and I just seen a diagram about how to actually touch your breast. And I'm like,
Mm,
Wow.
so many
Yeah.
of us probably didn't know or may
right,
have been
right. We're
doing
never
wrong,
taught.
and like just that extra step of like help and just not assuming that people know things and just and helping them to figure it out,
Hmm.
that helps. So all this
Yeah,
information is
Yeah.
wonderful.
We have a lot of
yeah,
work to do for
we
sure.
do. One of the things that we find too is that when young women go to the doctor and say, I have a lump, and they feel something, they show it to the doctor, they'll often get dismissed. Oh,
Mm.
you're too young. You're too young for a mammogram. It's probably just a cyst. It's probably
Mhm.
not cancer. Just come back in 6 months. Well, 6 months later, they come back, they're metastatic, or they don't come back because they didn't make it. So we
Mm.
have to teach young women not only to ask the questions, but to stand up. Hold on, wait a minute. No, this does not feel right. This is
Right.
not my normal. And knowing your body and feeling your body and touching your breasts and looking at them in the mirror is so important so that when you do, or if you do feel something unusual, you can go to the doctor and fight for yourself and advocate for care and say, hold on. Or guess what? Not every doctor is like Dr. Mo. You can fire your doctor if you don't feel like you're getting the care that you need. Call us, we'll find you one. So, not every doctor is going to give you the attention and the equity of care that Black women deserve and young Black women deserve. So we really need to, help people understand that it's okay to stand up and disagree and stand up
Mhm.
for yourself.
Mhm.
Yeah, agreed.
Jasmine, I guess I want to ask you about talking to your friends and your sisters. And I follow you on social media, so I'm part of the tribe. And when you talk about the conversations that we're having, I see you having these rich like fireside,
Yes.
like come sit on my sofa talks. What are some of the fears and some of the thoughts that young women might be having as they watch their mothers and their grandmothers and even their friends go through these
Right.
journeys?
Get breast cancer.
Totally of just losing them.
Mm,
That still to this day, I will get scared and sad thinking about my parent not being here. Um,
mm,
and it literally will stop me in my tracks. Like I'll have
mm,
a lot of things to do, and I won't be able to move. I won't be able to breathe because it's scary to lose the person that you love the most in this world. But you have to talk about it definitely to people. You have to inform yourself, and I think mainly it's just about having these conversations and not going into your shell, but
mm-hmm.
opening up and talking about it, letting your friends know this is not a good day. Talking to your parent, asking my mom how she's doing, what's up with her diet, like making sure that
Mm-hmm.
you don't kind of retreat into those feelings and just opening up instead.
Wow.
Yeah, just being open, but you know what? You really need a welcoming platform for that.
Mm-hmm.
And it is with, those intimate conversations with your friends when you're hanging out or when you're just in your house. And so just being open to having conversations and sort of putting yourself on the line a little bit, talking about something that could be uncomfortable and intimate and scary, but you have
Yeah,
to.
it takes bravery, obviously, for the person experiencing it, but also for the people that's supporting. It just takes bravery all around, just to
Let me ask you about that because
let your
we have
feelings out.
heard over and over again about strength. And Black women are so strong. And how do you define strength? And how would you say in your family you guys exemplify that strength? Let's talk about that.
How do I define strength? Honestly, it's being vulnerable. That
Mm,
for me
Yes.
yes,
is strength.
yes,
When you can be vulnerable
Yeah.
and say how
yeah,
you feel, that is the strongest thing that you can do.
Wow.
yes.
That's what I try to practice all the time. And like I said, it's easy to retreat. It's easy to go in your shell, go in your corner, and be like. But at that point, I feel like that's when you're most likely just be attacked and to get all kinds of thoughts and feelings and stuff like that that may not even be true. But that's just like what's happening to you, but like the second you decide to let it out and be vulnerable, that's the minute that you open yourself up to be helped. Everybody needs help. We all need help, literally, and all the time we need help.
That's
So
right.
Yeah. You know what I think of vulnerability, and that's such a wise statement for such a beautiful young woman, but it's faith. It's when you are vulnerable, you're sort of relinquishing your faith to whatever you believe in and being able, making yourself open. So, I wish all of us could do that and had that kind of strength or that kind of purpose to get there,
Mm-hmm.
it's hard, definitely.
It's
Especially as
hard.
a Black woman, because you are taught kind of to be strong and deal with it.
Yeah.
You got it, girl. You got it. You could do it. You a strong Black woman. So it's hard to kind of turn it off and to ask for help or realize that you need it. But yeah, you have
Yeah,
to
we
do
don't
it.
want to ask for help. What is that about us, right? We don't want to ask for help. And
Because people
and
come to us for help, like
exactly.
That
we're
is
the
true.
ones, we're the nurturers, we're the breadwinners, we're the saviors, we're the sisters, we're the
We're
pastor's
everybody.
aides, we're the cooks, the chefs, the everything.
Mm-hmm.
But being there for each other, I think, is really really important, and also taking care of ourselves. Can you tell us a little bit about how this journey with your mom has changed your self-care practices?
Yeah, so we decided very early that we were going to change the way that we were eating. So we became vegans. We were very strict at first, alkaline vegans, which is like a very restrictive diet. Um, and just making sure, especially my mom, she was up on her vitamins and things like that, and helping her, and then in turn help me because I wanted to support her and let her know that she can get through it. So I started taking better care of myself as far as my diet, and so yeah, it's been an amazing journey. It's a work in progress every day
Right.
because
Right. Vegan is really
you
hard.
get you it, I mean, I've had habits that I'm trying to break after 30 something years, and she's had
Right.
habits that she's trying to break after 60 something years. So definitely us supporting each other and like checking up with each other and making sure that we're doing right is helpful for us. But yeah, it's a journey, but
Mhm.
I'm happy that I decided to go on this path health wise.
Wow. Well,
That's
you're
great.
glowing.
You're glowing.
Thank
Yeah, it's
you.
working. You're looking so
Yeah.
beautiful. And, IBC too, a lot of people don't know what that is. It's inflammatory breast cancer, and it's one of the rarer forms, but it does have a very high incidence with Black women. So we want to educate about that too. And because it doesn't express as normal symptoms,
Mhm.
it expresses as Dr. Mo, you probably should describe this better than I can, but
Sure. Yeah, I can take it from there. And you're right, Ricky. And when we learn about it in medical school, you see all these pictures, and it's there's this word, this French term called peau d'orange, or peel of the orange, meaning the skin can look sort of thick and angry, and you see every pore, and they say it looks red. But on women of color, on Black women, Black and brown skin, it doesn't always look that way. And
Mm.
so it's really important for women to look at your breast. Part of that self-breast awareness, as we call it these days, they're not saying do the self-breast exam, right, Ricky? Self-breast awareness
yeah,
is you got to look at the girls in the mirror. You got to look
you
at the
do.
skin. You got to look at the nipples. They should both point out, even though they're twins, they're never identical, right? One's always a little different, but you got to know you're normal. So that thick skin that looks angry like a mosquito bite or looks like a spider bite, redness, hotness, that sort of thing, lumps in the breast, nipple retraction or puckering. Those are all things that are symptoms that we should be watching out for when we do our self-breast awareness.
Yeah, thank you. That's great. Yeah.
Thank
How
you.
old was your mom when she got sick, Jasmine?
Um, Mom, how old are you now? So I don't know if she want to tell this.
We never want to
Oh,
tell our age, but
that's okay. Hi, Mom.
hi, mom.
61, she says,
So
61.
Wow,
that's so young, and
it
so
is young.
that's young, and so that means that that you have to be addressing this at an earlier age than normal, and you are. Thank God for that, So, you know, so many women think, oh, my mom didn't have it, so I'm okay, or they don't look at the genetic factors. So thank you for doing this and being with your mom, but also helping us teach others that, pay attention to your body and do the right thing at your age to hopefully, have a different experience in your mom.
Yeah.
And thank you, mom, for supporting, Jasmine through this, because it's hard as a mom. My daughters were young when I was sick, and the whole family's sick, not just you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's a family affair.
As we get ready to wrap this up, I want to circle back to this more than just words, because we're
Yes.
calling it Breast Cancer Action Month, right?
Yes.
And so for those of you who are watching, we are participants in a campaign called More Than Just Words with Novartis.
Yes.
And it is to bring awareness, and it is to do more than bring awareness. It is to bring action to the fight against breast cancer. So Jazmine, give us your hope as a result of all of this. What do you want to see happen in our communities and really around the world for people who are watching?
I want my prayer is that Black women really learn to put themselves first
Mm.
and take care of themselves and advocate for themselves, and that's really what it is. I mean, you
Mm.
know, that's the prayer that I had for my mom, and it's the prayer that I have for every Black woman. So that's why, you know, I'm really happy to be a part of this initiative with More Than Just Words, because obviously we are advisors, and we are Black women, and that's so important that Black people have a seat at the table and could give our very special experiences. Um, and so yeah, that's my prayer for every Black woman, is that we can do our best to fight this.
That's a perfect prayer. Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
If you're watching and you want to follow along and join this More Than Just Words movement, Ricky, tell them where they can go.
Morethanjustwords.us. Morethanjustwords.us. And we have great information there and more to come. So we're going to keep fighting the fight, fighting like girls, and taking action against breast cancer.
Yeah.
So thank you for joining us on The Doctor Is In. You are our special guest, and we so appreciate all that you're doing. And we appreciate your mom and all that she's doing. And we love
Give her
you.
a big hug for us.
Give her a
Yeah,
big
from
hug.
us.
Yeah.
Thank
And
you.
I just listened to your album again. I took my 3-mile walk this morning. I'm like, okay, bring it.
It's so good. Oh, it
So
speaks
good.
to the hearts of so many young women.
So many women. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do your thing,
I
girl.
love it. I
Thank
love
your
it.
you.
thing.
Appreciate it.
Follow Jazmine
right.
Sullivan on social media. Follow us on social media. Touch BBCA, Dr. Monique Gary, Ricky Dove, Ricky at Touch, and NBC Dialogue, where we're going to continue the dialogue. Hashtag
Yes.
NBC Dialogue, More Than Just Words. So thank you so much, Jazmine. I just love you. I
Thank
want
you,
to give you a big
Jazmine.
hug.
I know. Here's a big hug. Big hug.
Yes,
Breasty love.
And give mom
Breasty
some
love.
breasty love for us.
Breasty
Thank
love.
you, guys.
Take care.